Hi everybody, my name is Justin Stoney and I'm the founder of New York Vocal Coaching here in New York City. Welcome to episode 49 of Voice Lessons to the World, the show where we want to help you guys as singers by answering your questions from all over the world. And I'll give you a chance to ask questions later, but our question for this week comes from Anthony C. in West Haven, Connecticut. And Anthony writes, Dear Justin, I would love to learn how to roll my R's, but I can't do it. Can you show me how to do it? Yes, Anthony, I think I can. And this is a great question because we do need to be able to roll our R's and do tongue trills often when we sing and when we speak. Now, most of you probably know what this is, but let's talk about what is a tongue trill or a rolled R. It's where the front of your tongue comes up and meets your hard palate or your alveolar ridge, and you get a sort of rrrr sound. Now, it's not the back, rrrr, it's the front, rrrr, buzzing against your hard palate. Now, why do we even need this? For one thing, we need this if we're going to be doing some classical repertoire that uses Italian or maybe Spanish, or if we want to speak those languages, we need to rrrr, roll our R's. And also, it makes for a great vocal exercise. So those of you that already know how to do this, hang in there for the end because we're going to do an exercise together where you get a chance to work some tongue trills. They're really great for the voice. And then finally, is there any sound that you guys really don't want to be able to make? We know that on this show, we're going to cover every sound that there is out there over time, and we want to be versatile with our voices. We want to not have limitations. We don't want to have sounds that we can't do. So if you want to be able to do a tongue trill, now's your chance to be able to do it. Now, some people think that they can't do a tongue trill, and most of the time, this is not true. I will admit, though, there's a genetic issue sometimes for people with tongue trills. There are some people that just will not be able to do the trill. But here's the two things that, genetically speaking, if you can do it, you're going to be able to do the trill. Here's what they are. Number one, you need to be able to lift your tongue like this in the front. It's got to lift up and touch the hard palate. That's the first thing. Second thing, though, this is the one that's harder for some people, is you have to be able to curl your tongue. The sides of the tongue have to be able to come up, or else the trill won't work. So if you can curl your tongue in a sort of U shape in the middle and in the sides, and you can lift it, you will be able to do the trill. All right, even if you can't now, we're going to work together right now to be able to do it. So here's some steps for you guys to be able to do a tongue trill. Okay, first I'm going to tell you a couple common ways that people have helped people get it in the past. One is repeating words that kind of have the sound of it, like say the word butter. If we say butter, 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 it kind of puts the tongue in that trill kind of place. Try that out. Say butter a bunch of times. Here we go. That was nice. So you feel that butter, 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 right? Now, another thing is to kind of use a Scottish accent. Just say for me, Scotland is great. Okay, try that out. That's right, Scotland is great. It was nice. Good job, right? So that gr, gr, gr sound, that is going to start the tongue trilling. So that's kind of just a few ways that people have talked about it in the past. What I'd like to do for you guys today is talk about how it's not just the front of the tongue we need to address to get this trill right, but the whole tongue. I'm going to show you what I mean. So first of all, the front. Here's what we have to do with the front. First of all, we need jaw and mouth relaxed. And then the tip is going to come up, not to meet the teeth. If you're meeting the teeth, you're too far forward for the trill. We're trying for the alveolar ridge. Whoa, that is a part of the hard palate. It's a little further back from the teeth. It's not the gums. It's not the teeth. It's a little further back on the hard palate. That's your alveolar ridge. That's where the trill is going to take place. So that's one thing you really have to know. The other thing is that tip of the tongue has to be loose. If that tip is tight, you will never do the trill. That is what is flapping. So if you tighten that guy, it's not going to be able to flap. So really, when you're trying these trills, you got to keep the front super relaxed and touching the right place. Now that's just the front. Most people have trouble because they're only thinking about the front when they're doing the trill. But now we need to know about the sides and then also the back. So here's the sides. The sides, as I say, they have to be able to curl up. You have to curl your tongue on the sides to, first of all, meet the teeth. Let's try touching the sides of the tongue to the teeth, probably the molars, right? Okay, so you're gonna meet the sides of the teeth. This is not how to do it, but the first step to doing it. When you do the actual trill, it's gonna be inside the teeth, but first meet the teeth with the sides of the tongue. That's good, okay? So if you've got that, now just think about a few of these sounds that you may have heard. This is kind of a retroflex tongue, this sound that we have, where we have a curl and a pullback of the tongue. You may have heard this with the announcer Tom Brokaw, NBC Nightly News with Tom Brokaw. It has that kind of curl to the sides. Or Austin Powers' Dr. Evil does the I'm still hip, I'm still cool, taka 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 taka, that sort of ha of the sides of the tongue. You got to engage that when you're doing ra, or else that won't stabilize things. So that's what you got to do with the sides. Now finally the back. The back is another thing that people miss. We can't have the back shoving down, and we can't have it totally loose. It has to have a little bit of upward activity. One way to find this is with a sort of velociraptor sound. Try this crazy thing for me. Try a... Okay, here you go. Very scary. Good. One more time. It was great. So we have the back of the tongue also engaged. That's one of the great things. If you're trying the that D or R sound in the front, and then you engage in the back, and you're also curling the sides, that is how you're going to be able to find the trill. Again, most people neglecting the lift of the back and the lift of the sides when they're doing the trill. So I hope that helps you guys to start finding the mechanics of all the aspects of the tongue so that you can get the trill. One more bonus tip for you. If you try another trill, like a lip trill, some people can trick themselves into doing it by feeding their tongue through that trill and using the one trill to influence the other. That's just another nice trick for you to try as you're experimenting. So that's how to do it. Let's fast forward to say that you figured that out after some practice, and now also those folks who already know how to do this, we're gonna put it to an exercise. We're gonna go up and down with a tongue trill. This helps with your breath support, it helps with your flexibility, and with your registration, because we're making an even sound, even volume, even production all across the range. So here's what it's gonna be. 1, 3, 5, 8, 5, 3, 1. Guys down here. And ladies up here. And here we go together with the trill. So nice. That's it. Yep. You got it. Yep. So awesome. Yep. You got it. Nice. Good, coming down. Awesome. Good for you. I like it. A few more. That's it. Awesome stuff. So now you know a little bit more about how to do that trill, how to get the mechanics right, and then also you can use it in an exercise to help build your voice. So Anthony and all, I hope that's been helpful for you guys today as singers. If you've got questions that you'd like to see us answer on the show, you can send an email to questions@voicelessonstotheworld.com. And so we just encourage you, don't lose that joy, don't lose that passion, don't let people tell you you can't sing. You and I both know that's just not true. Get with a great voice teacher in your area. Or if you guys are in New York City or you want to Skype with one of our staff, you can visit www.newyorkvocalcoaching.com. And if you guys like these videos, I just encourage you to download our free app for iPad, iPhone, and hopefully more in the future. So many great tips, videos, articles, more stuff to help you guys grow as singers. So check out that free app. And you can also visit www.voicelessonstotheworld.com. I'm Justin Stoney. We'll see you next time.